Okay, I got your plan open in my Premiere X10. On my second monitor, I see the photograph of your intended house. I'm going to take a look at the overview. Oh, no roofs of any kind or type. Okay, so we want a shed and a hip over the porch. So let's just start setting that up. I'm going to turn, I never use the grid, so I'm going to turn those off. So we should have a wall here. I don't see a wall. Ah, there's a wall. Okay, this wall, we don't want to change the program, the basic programming in it. We would just want hip wall. That's needed and wanted there. This wall, the front wall of the porch, should be programmed, or the roof tab, and it looks like it's about a 412 roof off of that. I'm going to tell it roof pitch should be 4 over this wall. Okay. This one, I'm going to program it to be a full gable wall. That's how you create a shed roof over a porch, and this should be named porch. It is named porch. You just have it turned off. Okay. And the floor should be slightly lower than the house for drainage purposes. There we go. And let's see. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going on, but this wall should have the default pitch set to it, and it looks like at a glance it's something like 5 to 712. See what you've got set up over here. 12. That's incorrect. Pretty sure. Now I've only got the one picture, but it doesn't look like this front-facing gable might be 12. But the majority of the rest of the roof planes are not 1212. They're about 512. So you set this figure here to the majority of the roof planes. Now, like I say, I'm operating from one photograph, so that's all I've got. Now over here, it looks like there's a compound pitch over the garage. It looks like it goes up at a lower pitch and then goes steeper. But that's just a guess, and that's beyond the scope of what you asked me to do. The more information I have, the better job that I can do for you. I can't tell how this bump out is roofed because it's not in the picture, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to, and it looks like the ceilings are 9 feet. Let's see what you've got them set to. Okay, that's out of the box default, which is 9 feet. So I'm going to assume that that's correct. It needs to be correct if you want to not waste a bunch of time building it wrong. Okay, now I'm going to go build roofs. Huh, it doesn't look like it builds any roofs, or you've got them roof planes turned off in plan set. In the default set, excuse me. Roof. No? Let's see what we got here. Yeah, well, that's not going to work very well. What's going on here? I'm going to go edit default settings, floor, current floor. Okay. You got roof over and flat ceiling over and Set it to 9 feet. I wonder why it didn't do that. Must be some kind of fly in the ointment. Oh, well, that's crazy. Okay. We can go over here to this one that's set properly and use this tool here in the edit toolbar, load match properties. Now I want to match ceiling elevation and floor elevation. So all these rooms are correct except the garage. The garage is incorrect. So I'm going to set the garage to like everything else. Is this a room here you got here? Yeah. You try that again. Ceiling elevation, floor elevation. Ah. I didn't realize this is a little room here. That's also true here. And I'm just going to open this one and set the floor back to -3. See, if your room dialog box settings are wrong, then everything else is going to be wrong. Garages are normally set to -6. So I'm going to go over here to the floor and set it to -6. That'll add a little bit to the ceiling height, but it's not very important. And the same thing for this little box out here. See, garages have slanted floors, and so you set, generally speaking, the floor height to its lowest point, which is going to be underneath the garage door. Okay, now we're going to rebuild the roofs, see if we get a better result. I'll go back to that camera that's open. Man, that's screwed up. It's okay. I need to check something else in plan view. Not that. Now it says flats and roof over. I wonder, it's not building over the first floor, it's building over the foundation. I wonder why it's doing that. Let's see, edit default settings, floors and rooms, current floor, which is in this case is the foundation. And we don't have a roof over that, and no flat ceiling, none over the foundation. Now I'm going to rebuild, see if we get a better result this time. Well, that is weird. Why do the roof planes not show up on this floor? Oh, because they're down here. Okay. All right. I'm going to click on the roof icon and then press the shift key and draw a marquee around those and then send the roof planes up to the first floor where they're supposed to be. But that doesn't change them in 3D. That just changes where they display in plan view. And now they're up here. I'm going to marquee select all the friggin' roof planes, and then I'm going to use transform replicate, this tool here, to move those objects straight up 9 feet. Like they're 9 feet off. Yeah, that's better. That's looking a little bit closer. I'm not going to worry about some of these peripheral issues. Now, you can see this is building in 412 all the way up here. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to just grab that roof poly line and pull it down. See, it's only 412 up to about here. Actually, in plan view, it would go probably, in most cases, it's going to come out just short of that bearing wall there. And let's take a look at this in an overview. I need to turn all this color and crap off and change to a vector view camera so I can see what's going on. There you go. See, we wanted a hip here, but we don't. Yeah, we don't want one there. That's wrong. I'm going to delete that roof plane and delete this roof plane. And this hip roof over here is not what I ordered either. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here, that doesn't belong. It's supposed to be a shed roof. And sometimes the automatic settings work, sometimes they don't. And then when they don't, you just step in manually and straighten things out. See, we wanted a shed roof end over here and then a hip over there. This little roof plane here is unnecessary. That one there, get rid of that. Okay. And this would end up here collinear with that, and this comes down at a 90-degree angle. God. Okay. Now what we need here is a plane coming off of this. Back to plan view. At, let's see. Yeah, I want this one. I'm going to copy it. Put the copy over here and rotate that copy 180 degrees. I'm going to stick its baseline. See this little dashed line here with the perpendicular on it? That's move it over here to that so it bears on that wall. And then I'll just straighten this into a rectangle. Whoops. See, I have to zoom in. I can't see what. Oh, yeah, there's extra breaks there. We'll simplify the geometry of this roof plane. And whenever you see this dialog, it comes up when you're manually editing roofs. Always check, don't show this again, and cancel. Software is pretty smart, but it's not smart enough to figure out what I'm trying to do. And the times I've used early on in my career, when I used that dialog, I regretted it. Okay, so this roof plane that I copied there and resized is going to bear on this wall. And I want this edge of this roof plane and the upper edge of the porch to connect. And it says that the software said, well, I can't do that. I can't do what you just asked me to do. So I'm going to separate those roof planes a little bit. And then try again. Again, the software doesn't know all and see all. Let's see, let me go back to the camera and see why they won't. Oh, I see. Well, that's 5. This should be 5. Oh, I see. The pitches are not dissimilar enough to connect. See, this one would go down under that roof plane. That's why they can't connect. So what that means is, let's see, what could that mean? I'm going to raise these roof planes up 12 inches relative to their baselines. Because these roofs in the picture connect, and so I need to put them close enough together where they can connect. Okay, I'm still getting that error message. Let me take this and raise it another 12 inches to a 11-foot plate. Try again. What is wrong with this thing? Oh, that's kind of annoying. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise this shed roof right over that wall, and then find out what its ridge height is, 145. I'm going to copy that and make sure that these roof planes are collinear in plan view. I'm sorry, now I have to get that figure again. I had to move it again. I want to make sure that these are right on top of each other in plan view. There we go. See, here's the lower one, and here's the upper one. Okay, now they're collinear. And I'll find out what the ridge is on this one in a new unit of time. So that's 149. I'll copy that. 149 and 5/8. I take this roof plane and lock its pitch so that the pitch doesn't change, and raise the bottom of it so that they match roof plane to roof plane. And then we'll take this edge here and try to connect them again. Well, that's kind of weird. I don't know why it continues doing that. There's perhaps something I missed. I don't see usually it's caused by additional breaks in the edges of roof planes, but I don't see any. No, there's nothing there. Well, all right. I'm going to take this and straighten it up. There it is. Parallel perpendicular tool. Line that up with the other roof plane. Gets the overhangs. I'm just going to set it to 12 inches. You can, well, not 123, but I wanted to set it to 12. There we go. We'll set this one to the same overhang. Well, I think it's pretty much connected. Let me see. Yeah, I might have been wrong. I think 412 is correct for this, but this may need it to be steeper. In the photograph you sent me, I just can't tell. So I'm going to take that and pivot it from that low point, change it to 7. So it stays connected, but I'm going to change this rear one to 7. Now I want to connect the ridge of this. Whoops, I can't tell what I'm. Let me move the camera. Okay, this roof plane here doesn't belong there, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Connect these two. There we go. Why didn't that other one move? Yeah, okay, it finally did. And this edge here would stick over here. Okay, we got a starting point in any case. I need more data on the geometry of the entire house to really get this correct. Obviously, this roof plane here that's going way over in here, that's incorrect. So again, I'm going to simplify the geometry of that one and get it over here, probably where it's supposed to go, like that. And the one in the back, most likely, is not going to go all the way over to here. It's going to, its geometry is going to be slightly different. Again, I have too much missing data to be sure. And even a relatively simple house like this can be a little bit of a headache if you don't know how to manually edit roofs. And it's a skill that you learn by failing at numerous times until you reality dawns on you exactly what this is all about. And you have to have develop the architect's ability to kind of see in your mind's eye in 3D. See, that's becoming a little more realistic. Now, this is probably a gable over here, probably. So I'm going to take this and get rid of this hip. It probably doesn't belong there. And this becomes half the front half of a gable. That's what it looks like. Or it may be a compound pitch. Whoops. Maybe a compound pitch thing like over the porch, and then it goes to a steeper pitch. I don't have enough information to tell. And this little sliver here of a hip, I'm going to delete that. Not quite sure what that's. I don't think it's going to be there. And we want. Let's see. This is currently 5. I think this is like. Yeah. Probably what we have here. Let me just manually draw a roof plane over this outset thing. And again, I'm going to meet it over the outer wall of the garage. Just line those up. And this roof plane I'm going to set to 4 like the porch. And this roof plane that bears over the porch, over the garage, sorry, I'm going to set to 712, like I did the other one, the other planes on the left. Now these should join. Let's see, I guess I should do the same thing, find out what the ridge is. 144.5. And apply it to this one. We'll lock the pitch so that the pitch doesn't change and set its bottom to this figure. Raise it up a little bit. And I don't have any pictures of how this goes back. So I'm not going to mess with that. You'll have to do that yourself. I'm going to go back to the camera and see we got a compound pitch thing going that appears to be about how it's supposed to work. Let's see if those are connect now. Yeah, those connect now without an error message. So I think that relative to the front that I can see in the photographs, that appears to be correct now. Now, why the roofs weren't automatically building any better than they were, I don't know. I'd have to spend a lot more time checking your settings and see if there's any paradoxical settings that you set that added up to causing all that. Sometimes that can get rather complicated. This will flatten out. I can fix that now. Instead of this configuration here, this roof plane is going to stop outside the way this works, I'm going to use a break line tool just outside there, and we'll create kind of a gable. That's probably how it is. If I was designing this, that's how I would design it. This one here, I'm going to use a break line and put it on the outside of that wall. Change its geometry so that it's not messing with this outer wall. I'm going to move it out just another inch or so. And then this one here, we'll use the break line tool on it right about there. And create a gable. And go a little bit further past that. So there's a little overhead. I'm just getting this out of the way. There's no photographs telling me how this is supposed to go, so I'm just going to do it in a way that doesn't clutter up my plan for the short term. Again, I'm just reshaping the roof polylines into a different configuration so that they're not, so we get a nice flat wall there. That's probably something like that is there. Who knows? I haven't seen it, but that's better than it was. Now we need this gable here, which is what you asked me to help you with. But I had to kind of set things up first. And we got a little bit of a situation here. We need to probably pull it back a little bit so it's not stopping that wall to build. Oh, it's just not, there's no attic wall here. Let me draw that in. Okay, that's a bad wall connection there. That's not okay. Well, that's just a bad wall connection. I don't know what kind of wall you were using there, but it's the wrong kind. Wall types. Oh. For this kind of a configuration, this wall type is completely wrong. You'd be better served with, let me do this. Select all three of these and change them to a skinnier wall type. That's the reason you have bad connections there. Wall types. That's totally goofy. You want just a regular, whoops. Interior railing's fine. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to use this. See, already we got a better wall connection. And it shouldn't have changed the appearance of your, it didn't mess with that at all. Okay, now this wall's missing. Okay. And go up to the attic or the second floor and make sure that attic walls is turned on. Walls, attic, yeah, they're on. We'll turn on the reference display so I can see the missing wall, which is right here. And click on this wall and extend it. And we'll take this. I'm just ignoring those error messages because it's just mechanical blah blah. I don't care what it says. Okay, there's that wall there. Now, the reason it's popping up is because there's no overhang in this little section to chop it off. So I'm going to go back to where the roof planes are. This one needs to go back right there. And this one, I'm going to break it and break it right over there so I can extend it down just enough to have a little overhang over that. Don't chop that wall off. Yeah, like that. Not showing, oh, I see. The roof plane here is chopping it off. I need to pull it back. There we go. Roof planes are pre-programmed to cut off walls underneath their perimeter. And so if a wall is missing that should be there, you just have to move the roof plane back so that the wall can grow up to the height it's supposed to be at. Now what's up here, and again, you haven't provided me enough data to be absolutely certain, but what I'm going to do, go up to the second floor, which looks like, oh, you haven't created the second floor. That's a flunk. Because in the picture, there's a room up here, and you can't create a room in an attic. So that's the next thing we have to handle. I'm going to go over here and build floor, build new floor, and I'm going to make it a blank second floor. You get a dialog to set the ceiling height. I assume it's 96 inches. And now we get a blank up there with a reference display on it. Looks a little more complicated. See, there's, all of these are automatically generated walls, and they will not form rooms. All of these walls are pre-programmed by the software to be no room defined, no room definition. So they won't allow you to use them to form rooms. So I'm going to ignore those walls, turn on the reference display, and just draw me up a little room based on the photograph. We'll go to the exterior wall tool, see what you have. You have it set to CMU. Oh, not CMU. That's really fat wall. Siding 6. Okay, siding 6, fine. Now I'm just going to draw a little room up here on the second floor. I'll let you worry about the stairs and so forth. And the room part appears to be about where I've got it. You know, without the floor plan, which you haven't provided, I'm kind of, well, there's a floor plan, but it's absolutely tiny. I can't see the dimensions on it. But that's roughly where I've got it. You can tell that the roof slants up from here, so that's about where that wall is going to be in. Up from this side, starting about here, so that's pretty close. And so what I'm going to do is draw a roof plane. And I'm going to have to change the height on these because they're going to come in too high. Opposing roof planes here. And remember that I haven't changed the default pitch from 5, so I'm going to have to manually change these from 5 to 12-12. I think that those look like 12-12. Let's take that. I don't want to copy them. I want to open them and change the pitch to 12. And of course, I know they're going to be too high. I'm going to go back to the camera view. All right, I closed the camera view. Yeah, there they are. See, they're coming in too high. They're supposed to be about 18 inches below the ridge here. So I'm going to take those and we'll lower them 9 feet minus 9 feet. That's a little bit too much. I can tell this at a glance. I overdid it. I'm gonna raise those up 3 feet. 36. That looks more like it. Now I'm going to go back to plan and connect these. Connect the ridge. And we'll overhang these walls here a bit. Again, I'm going to let you adjust that. You're going to have to adjust this whole thing based on the actual floor plan. And you would just move these baselines over the actual placement of these second floor walls. See, That's looking a little bit better. There won't be any gutters on these roof planes. Let me turn those off. We'll open the roof planes. Go to the options tab and turn the gutter off. I don't apply it up here on the second floor. Okay, next thing is I need these roof planes here down the floor where the other roof planes are. I'll push them down to the next floor below. And I'm going to turn the reference display off. I'm going to turn the dimensions off. It's all just cluttering up the screen. Turn the dimensions off. I don't need them right now. Okay, CAD line. Oh, that's probably, this CAD line is probably the, oh yeah, the ridge is centered on the door. So I'm going to take these two roof planes and move them over here and center them on the front door. I assume you have this front door in the right place. So now I'm going to take this roof plane and start setting it up. We'll put a break in the center. And then what that does is I can then connect this edge to this new edge that I just created. See now what it does? Now it looks like the geometry's, let's see, let me see that. Oh, okay, that works. It didn't quite comply with my command, but that's not unusual. Okay, I'll just manually drag it over there. Now this is, oh, this is not connecting because of this extra line here. Let me get rid of that. And then now the join roofs command should work. Okay, there's an extra edge over on this side that is keeping it from working. So let me get rid of that and then try again. There we go. Now we're not done. As you can see, there's, well, I'll just go back to the overview camera. You can see that doesn't belong there, but we're getting the basic shape. Looks like maybe it's not 12-12. The ridge height looks about right, but I overestimated. Well, let's see, if I do that, this is coming down in about the right place, but this looks too steep. Anyway, I'm gonna, this edge here that's going where it's not supposed to be, I'll put a break over here, close to that edge, and then roll it back to where, roughly where it's supposed to be. Which should be right over that wall. Yeah. I'm gonna take that back up there. And this edge here, I'm going to straighten that edge out so that it's perpendicular to the adjacent roof plane, like that. Yeah, it's beginning to clean up a little bit better. Now here's the wall. I need to move that over, obviously, a little bit. This just needs to go over. See, without the floor plan dimensions, I'm in the dark and I'm guessing. Well, that looks a little bit better. Let me pull it over a little bit more. I'm just looking for general appearances right now. I'm pretty sure that this is, that's about where it needs to be. So I'm going to take these two roof planes and they should have about the same fascia top height. Now it says no change. Let me check them one at a time. Fascia top 146 and 5/8, and this one's what? Oops. I want that. I want the roof plane, not that roof plane. Pretty close. They're not exactly the same. what I want to do is shift select these and change this radio button position from baseline height. Or maybe, no, baseline height's fine. I'm going to change the pitch to 8. And then go back to the camera view. That looks a little bit closer. See, if we knew the exact pitch, and then we could set the exact pitch. But we don't know, so I'm guessing. So I'm going to connect that. I'm just going for visual appearance right now. Join roofs is what I'm rejoining the roof because I changed the geometry of the roof. Okay. Again, this is not picture perfect, but that's a matter of adjustments. It's generally correct. You know, you look at the front elevation, that looks about right. Material colors are wrong, but that's something you can fix later. And these columns are too tall and stuff like that. Those are all simple adjustments that I'm not concerned with. And then you can put your windows in there. You need to figure out exactly the dimensions of the second floor to really get this perfect. But I roughed it in. I think maybe we need to go a little bit steeper. Just looking at the photograph. Now, let's go to 10, 12. I think that's quite a bit closer. And I'm going to go back to a slightly different viewpoint and tie in the sides again. Whenever you change the pitch, you have to tie in the valley edges and sometimes the ridges. But in this case, just the valley edges. Yeah, see, it changes the geometry a little bit. Okay, and then you put your windows in, et cetera, et cetera. This is generally without knowing the dimensions, this is what you would have to do. You have to guess, look at the picture. Does that look like the picture? No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. And then make adjustments. There's no simple way to do this other than, like, this is not correct. I can tell in the picture. Probably this edge just goes down like that. That looks more like the picture. But without blueprints, and all you have to go by is a photograph, this is how you do it. You have to make a guess and then compare that guess to the photograph and then go on along your merry way. Okay? Thanks for watching. I'm going to knock off and I'll send you this video a bit later. Thank you. Thanks for giving me a chance to help you. I hope this does help you.